are hanging in tight.
First of all, what's your impression of the event as it turned out yesterday?
I must say that I was highly impressed with the situation and then the unveiling of Professor Enoch Opoku Agyeman. Yesterday around 2, I went to UPSA and I saw the traffic and then the brimmings of love and how enthusiastic the people are, because Ghanaians are really choking with the economic hardship and everything that is going on. But more importantly, beyond the brimmings of love, she also struck the moment. In fact, when I listened to Fifi Kwete's speech, and then I listened to Chairman General Theodin Ketia's speech, which he struck some very important points about people scrambling for political positions when the game has not been hunted yet, that everybody should be part of this process so that when NDC wins, then they can think about position. That was very important. And then when Naana Jane came, she spoke about some issues that really struck the moment. The first thing she talked about was this election is not about the first woman being a vice president or a possible president or anything. It is about healing. My brother, this country is so polarized and divided with some arrogance in leadership and governance that we need a leader that can heal and bring Ghanaians together, build that kind of community. And she talked about that. She also talked about this is the time for hard work and abiding sacrifice. Yes, a lot of people will need to sacrifice to bring the Ghana we all know back, because a lot of things have gone wrong. She also talked about the purpose. And one of it was that she would, she talked about Mahama demonstrating a remarkable consistency by selecting her. And she also promised an unwavering commitment to inclusivity and then innovation. So it was proper that she acknowledged that out of all the other people, we have over 32 million people in Ghana, that ex-President Mahama really considered her again, and that spark of consistency. So I like that part, that she acknowledged that there were other people who also qualified and she was chosen. But she also talked about capabilities of women, which is really important, that her presence shows that a woman is also somebody we can repose confidence in to lead us. She also talked about her loyalty and understanding and devotion to duty with the president. So loyalty is key in politics. Her understanding and bringing other contrasting opinions on board is also very important. But two things that I'm going to talk about briefly before we follow up with other questions. That she said that she's not going to be, at the time of reckoning, she is not going to say that she was the driver's mate. And that kind of reckoning accountability was very kind of a punchline. That, when we fail together, and when we succeed together. Because I want to self-serve myself, I'm not going to detach myself from the situation and say that I was just a mate. And then the other point she said was that John and herself would team together to probe all corruption in a Akufo-Addo's government. These were the key moments that I really enjoyed.
Well, there are a few things that people would have paid attention to. The last time she was nominated to be running mate, you would have said, okay, her only crucial role in politics, and that one too was in governance, was as education minister prior to that. Then she was nominated as running mate. The things that people were watching out for is the level the extent to which she has matured into the position now. When you listen to her, watch her mannerism and everything, do you see a certain sense of growth within the politics and how it plays out?
Yes, exactly. That is what everybody expressed. In fact, when her name was mentioned and she was coming up, there were some ladies sitting in front of me. And watch the way she was greeting all the queens and the chiefs, and everybody was saying that, Obuadi, and so she also respects. So there were other mannerism people were watching about her. And I remember I met Professor Award late last year, and we're talking about at his office, and we're talking about this. And then he said that she is learning fast. Remember, Naana Jane is like me. Most professors can show leadership, but they are not politicians in a strict sense of Ghanaian politicians. So when she was drafted from University of Cape Coast as a vice chancellor to become the Minister of Education, she wasn't a politician in a strict sense, at least in Ghana terms. But she learned along the way, and that is one thing about being an academic. You learn quick. So she has really learned, and the way she spoke, she took her time. Look at the way she moderated her speech. It wasn't too fast. It wasn't too slow. And her points were really articulated. It means she's really learned fast. So I agree with you perfectly that if you compare her speeches, the last elections, and the way she's speaking now, she's got the experience, she's got to know the terrain of politics, she's got to hit the points of what she has to say. And her delivery was really perfect. I've seen social media everywhere, everybody talking about how she delivered this. And she delivered that with conviction and with authority and with that kind of feminine love and affection. And that is what we're looking for.
Did she strike the right tone for you? Because you talk about the times we are in and the fact that you need a leadership that rises to the times. Did she strike the right tone for you as the person who's going to partner the alternative going into this election?
She exceeded my expectations on that. The tone was really perfect. And you can see that she was confident and relaxed. So she wasn't arrogant about what she was saying, but she spoke the fact to authority. And that is what people were saying. So if you see all over the world, social media, people talking about how she delivered, it means that they were expecting more from her, and she delivered to that yesterday.
And then there is the issue of, and you of course you spoke about that. Not she will not refer to herself as a mate, because Dr. Bawumia is currently occupying the office. Seem to have repainted the vice president's office in a manner which people are now wondering. So what does the vice president be doing all along? Do you think she addressed that issue satisfactorily enough to make people believe that she will also not just be turn up one day and tell us that she was a mate?
You see, there's a difference between the thought process in NDC and the thought process in MPP. When Bawumia says that he was the mate, he has a point. And the point he has is that if you look at the trend in MPP, I said it before Oforiatta left the Ministry of Finance that he was the de facto vice president of Ghana because the president listened to him more than his vice president. So there were a lot of things that Bawumia would have done, but he never had a chance to do because the president wasn't having his ear for him at that time. So in a subtle way, he tried to push that case along that, look, there were many things I wanted to do, but the president wouldn't allow me. And that is why he said he was a mate. But if you look at Naana and John Mahama, the way they gelled, the way Mahama talked first about why he repeated her, you can see that kind of bond. And that's why she said that she's going to repay that with loyalty and commitment and hard work. So the difference here is that in Bawumia's case, it's like Akufo-Addo went and picked him when he wasn't even an MPP member, pushed for him to get a membership card and everything. So he felt that this man made me, he mentored me, he made me who I am. Naana Jane is a self-made person. She's accomplished a lot with a lot of experience in leadership. And if you have somebody who picks you knowing that you bring plethora of experiences and that you are going to share ideas, of course, you will always agree to disagree agreeably. But the bottom part is that you are going to come together to come to a consensus to build a nation. Is better than a leader who picks somebody and think that, well, I will delegate only functions to you as the Constitution says. And in that case, that deputy or the vice feels that his voice is not heard enough. And that is the pain that I saw in what Bawumia said. But in Naana's case, it is clear to everybody who witnessed the speech and the unveiling yesterday that the President, Mahama, respects her opinion and her achievements in life and is going to tap into that to build the country. And that is the kind of pair we are looking for.
Now, after this event, what everybody is looking forward to is the extent to which she will be deployed to help the NDC win the election. Of course, without the winning the election, that rich experience that she has will not be used in governance. What are your own thoughts on that as to how she should be deployed, her strength, and how that strength can be used?
That is a very important question, and thank you for asking that question, because that is the ultimate that we are looking for. Showing that humility in the acceptance speech, the speech that she gave and the points that she gave in the speech, I see the law of momentum on her side. So that is how politics works. Politics is the moment that brings somebody. And because the moment has brought her now, and the speech that she gave, like I said earlier, the law of momentum is on her side. So what she has to do is to get to the streets. She has to go to the marketplaces, go to places where there are a lot of women are, because in Ghana's last census, 2021 population census, over 52% of the population are women. So our female voice needs to be heard. I expect her to go to the market square, talk to the women, ask prices of tomatoes and mangoes now and gari, and then see the food inflation and talk about some of these things. She talked about doing so and not having timetable. That was also a good thing that she talked about. But she has to be seen visibly. She has to touch people. She has to pick children from the street. She has to hug people and then let them feel that she's also like them and she feels their pain. So that kind of empathetic thinking is what I'm expecting from her at the street. And from now to December 7th, if she continues like this, then victory is going to be quite easy for the NDC.
But there are also those who are also of the opinion that because of her background as an academic and because of her rise, personal achievements, there should be a certain level of deployment that tackles the middle class rather. What do you think about that too?
You see, there's a misconception out there about higher achievers in academia. People have some perceptions about us, but that is not true. We all had our infancy as any ordinary person. We just made a difference by going to school and learning and achieving some things on the way. So Naana Jane, from Commander that she was born, carrying pans, going to fetch water, and all the things that she did, she understands. She has taught me before at Meso Cape Coast, communication skills. That was in 1998. So I know where she's coming from, that she's a very humble person. She's had a very humble beginning in life. It is only education that has lifted her. So talking about those are the grassroots and then the middle class, all she has to do is to go to them and then listen to them. Because this election is not going to be about JM and Naana Jane alone. Everybody from the regions to the walls to the grassroots, everybody there is going to be part of the campaign process. And I like particularly what Edwin Ketia said, that if NDC want to win this election, it's not going to be about money. Because incumbency is going to be on the way of NDC, MPP rather. Incumbency is going to be on their way. They have the resources. They have some institutions that will favor them, in a way because they are in government. But if NDC goes to the grassroots, talk to the people about decency, about integrity, about accountability, and that tell the people that when we come in, all those who have embezzled money, like Cecilia Dape's case, it should not just go to rest. We will prosecute those people, send them to court, and then set them as an example or a deterrent so that others will not come and steal public funds. That is the message people want to know. So when you go and hit the right message and people see you visibly everywhere they go, the funerals, they should be there, the weddings, they should be there, everywhere that people have gathered. That's how politics works in Africa. You have to be there at the churches, at the mosque, be there, be visible. Doing that, I think that it's going to be quite easy for NDC to win this election.
How important that message? Because you go back to that message about holding people accountable. How important is that to perhaps getting Ghanaians on board to deciding that the NDC is the party to vote for that will hold people accountable? She said it's not a threat, it's a promise.
I like the way she said it. You know, wording is everything. The way you frame something. It's not a threat, it's a promise. That means that you will see through to a logical conclusion of it. If you see the lot of rot that has gone on a scandal for the past 7 years, we all know some. We all know a lot about what has gone on. I don't need to enumerate them. But all of these have been passed under the carpet. You know, we have the special prosecutor saying, I can't prosecute this case, where I have given up on this case. Why should you give up a case when they are clear corruption cases? So when somebody who is coming in, like Naana Jane, promises that John and I, that is the phrase that she used, John and I are going to prosecute all those cases, and that's not a threat but a promise. It means that they are serious about that, and that's what Ghanaians want to see. You see, we've had a trend where MPP will say NDC people are corrupt and say all sorts of things, but when they come for the 8 years, they cannot even prosecute anybody. Nobody goes anywhere to jail, and then the case ends there. Ghanaians are tired of seeing that. So now we want to see action, where those who have embezzled money clearly, and we have the evidences at court, those people should be sent to jail and all their properties confiscated. That is the only way we will see deterrent being said and justice to the people also being seen. So that is a very good thing, and they should keep on with that in addition to the 24-hour economy, that will prosecute all those who are corrupted, and not only those who are corrupted themselves, but look at the arrogance. You see, sometimes I sit down and ask myself, they are using the law, they go to court, and sometimes they find their way out of the court. We should also watch our justice system, the way it works. Other countries are using the law to punish bad things in the society. Here, people are using the law to take themselves out of the shackles of what they are supposed to face when they corrupt themselves. So, yes, that's a good thing. Talk about corruption. Talk about the city that is always running away because the exchange rate, we don't even know where the city is now, 1365 or so to the dollar. From 4 at the time JDM was living to now 1365 to the dollar. And then talk about the fundamentals are so weak now that the exchange rate has exposed everybody. Talk about Doomsday now that is in the heat with the mosquitoes and everything. We still have light off that simple decency and respect to the citizens of showing them timetable that, look, it's going to be off here, this area, so you can tag your phones, you can get your things off so that you will not destroy them. That simple decency of respect to the citizens, it is not coming. So you can see a clear difference of their approach, John Mahama and Naana Jane approach of humility and telling Ghanaians what they would do, as against what we see, the arrogance on the other side.
Two things. First, in the place that we are at, a lot of voters are said to be looking for leadership that connects to them emotionally. Leadership that demonstrates an understanding of the situation they find themselves in. Leadership that is able to tell you that I know where you are, I know what you're going through, and I can promise you that I will do something that will ensure that your situation is turned around. Leadership that through their voice can be trusted. Did Professor Enoch Opoku Agyeman come across in that manner for you?
Yes, to a large extent she did. I am a leadership expert. That's what I have my PhD and master's in leadership studies. So this part that you're asking of comes from the piece of servant leadership called being aware. And awareness is what she showed there. She showed that she's aware of the arrogance that is going on. She's aware of the doomsday. She's aware of the excavators issue that has happened. And she's aware of the suffering of Ghanaians, that she will partner faithfully and being loyal to John Mahama so that they can come and fix that problem. That awareness has endeared her to the people through the speech. Now she has to follow up with the momentum by going to the grassroots, to the grounds, door to door, and telling people that here I am Naana Jane. Yes, I'm shaking your hand. I'm holding your baby, kissing kids, coming to communal labors with you, because the visibility is what people need more. They want to see you. Like I said, when some people saw her for the first time and she was greeting the chiefs and the queen mothers and she was, bending down her body and doing all, so, Opoku Agyeman, she's very respectful. People at that time who were sitting in front of me were not thinking that a professor could go to that step. But she understands traditions, and I must say that she's really learned fast. But another caution here, we've had a situation where even in America, when Hillary Clinton was contesting as a president, and America to have the same population, demographic, over 52% are female. But you have females not voting for one of their own. I think that this is a message to females in Ghana. This is your moment. Studies have shown that women will rule the world one day. And because of that, if this is the moment of a woman, I expect all females to support such a woman, because many a time we've seen fellow females who are not supporting their others. I want to give you a quick example. I went to a conference, International Conference on Human Resources, and I was giving a lecture, a speech about, in U.S., out of Fortune 500 companies, we have only 12 positions as CEOs who are female. The rest are all males. And then they were complaining about a lot of men in the HR profession. Meanwhile, if you come to the practice of human resources, even in the advanced world, about 90% of them are female. So why is it that Fortune 500 companies, all the best 500 companies in America, only 12 of the CEOs are female out of 500? So look at the percentage. And then I asked them that, but who has been hiring these males? And then everybody was quiet. So I said that this is a profession of female HR who are hiring, but they are hiring men instead of their fellow women. And you come and sit here and complain. So I'm using that as hypothesis for females in Ghana to know that this is one of your own, and you are the majority. For far too long, women have been pushed to the back burner. Now there's a female who is well-rounded, experienced, knowledge, humble, and everything, who is ready to champion the cause of a woman. Vote for her so that your issues will also be addressed. I have never been a female before, so there are many issues about women that I will not know. That will be on my blank side. Yes, there are new studies about female studies. There's even a new PhD course about female studies. So the way women think are different, quite different about the way men think. And I think that sometimes we need a woman to champion the cause of women. And this is the moment for Ghanaian women.
And then I go back to where it all started. You talked about the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, that's Honorable Fifi Avikwete. Then you talk about Mr. Johnson, Ketia. And then the flag bearer also talked about, so some sort of response to what the chairman said on the matter of people already counting their chickens before the eggs are hatched. Was it wise to have said it on that platform? And what impact do you think this will make?
It was very impactful. When Chairman Enoch Opoku was speaking, I saw a lot of people nodding their head. One thing that we do in leadership is that when you are speaking, you have to see the reaction of the people. If they are not engaged with you, it means that you are off track. But when he started talking about that we need to kill the game first before we share the spoil. People have already started lobbying. Oh, I want to be the minister of this. I want to be the minister of this. I've heard it. Very clear. But NDC have not won yet. And complacency should be the last thing that should come to NDC. In fact, let me put this on record so that, I'm fan of doing that. I talk about Naana should be repeated and everything from Radio Gold. Next week, Thursday, which is a week from today, MPP are going to select their running mate. And now we have message that about 80% of the message, if everything is accurate, that Napo will be made the vice president at Alicia Hotel exactly today's week. So we are going to have two Opokus for vice presidential slots. Now, if NDC think for a minute that it's going to be easy for the party to win this election, that is a joke. Bawumia is going to give MPP that good of run that NDC will have a good run for the money. So it's not going to be easy for them. And the reason why Napo is being chosen is that he's come from Manshia. So they're going to concentrate more on the Ashanti votes there, because they need somebody who is a royal, somebody who all the chiefs and the queens can support there. That gives Napo advantage over Duchum. So what is happening there is that they are also strategizing. There are always meetings with the MPP. They are planning everything. So they are strategizing. You've seen the manifesto team coming from all angles, from soccer to governance. So it's not going to be that easy. Even though all the polls have shown that NDC is going to win, it means that there should be hard work. There should be more vigilance from all the polling stations all the way to the strong room. And there should be, even if there are new people that should support to help the new team, because you have to re-strategize. Bawumia has brought everybody in MPP to his campaign team. From the Kufuor to everybody, they are all part of his team, because he's planning an inclusivity of campaign. And because of that, NDC need to re-strategize. NDC don't have the money that MPP have, because they have incumbency. They have all the resources now. Go door to door, speak to the people, talk about being humble, the integrity, the accountability of NDC, and then what they would do different with the 24-hour economy. Because that is for trades and skills, which Naana Jane talk about. And Sanu Juma is what 24/7 is about. So if there's a plumber, is somebody who pumps the tire, they can work 24/7. And that also means we need constant electricity, because you can't work in the darkness. We need that. So that should go to the ground. And I think that NDC is doing a good job with the 24-hour economy policy, going to the grassroots and explaining to the people. That is the way you win elections, at the polling stations. So that complacency of people thinking about positions, yes, of course, you need people to man governance, different ministries and everything. The president alone will appoint not less than 7,000 people, but we've not reached there yet. This is the time for everybody to put their wheels, their shoulders to the wheels, and work hard, so that when you win, then we think about positions for everybody. But as of now, it's about hard work and crossing the finishing line. So 3 mental blocks, according to research: failure to see, failure to move, and failure to cross the finishing line. Now, we have not failed to see that there are dangers ahead, that Asian Ketia talked about. There are dangers ahead, and that needs hard work and vigilance to cross that hurdle. And then that means we are also moving. That is the second hurdle. The last hurdle is failure to cross the finishing line. We have to cross the finishing line on December 7th, and that is the only way victory becomes for NDC.
Thank you, Prof, for speaking to us.
Thank you, my brother. Have a great day.
Always nice to have Prof on the line, have a conversation on the issues we're discussing, because of his background in leadership